What is something people pretend to understand but actually don't? The political spectrum specific to the US. They've been fed left versus right for so long that they fail to see that there is no left in the US. The US has a far-right party and a center-right party. Both are pro-corporate, pro-war, anti-worker and actively anti-left. If people in the US could manage to look outside of their borders, they would see that in every other democratic nation, there is actual representation from the actual left. Somehow, they've managed to convince people that Joe Biden is a leftist lol. Physics. Just when you think you understand something, a weird phenomenon creates an exception in how things should be expected to work. The thing is, there are tons of these. An undergrad in physics barely scratches any surface of these. A master's pushes you into one area to learn some. Even PhDs have been surprised by the odd phenomenon when doing research. Sometimes it's cool because it's a new phenomenon, but it's got to be upsetting when it's something silly cropping up unexpectedly. Hygiene. I mean, most people get the basics, but my lord, how many people I meet who think freezing kills bacteria, regular soap isn't antimicrobial, or who never learned mechanical work has to be put into cleaning something. For example, spraying something with detergent and wiping it off is not cleaning. I totally get why adults infect each other with gut bacteria etc. They think they're clean, they spend time cleaning stuff in themselves, but it doesn't work. Also, their showers are disgusting. I am a news reporter and I spend a lot of time in courtrooms. So much about the law and the justice system. It's 2023 and I still see people go to court and try to claim they have to be released because the cop didn't read them their rights when they put them in cuffs. Also things like there's a typo in this page so you have to let me go, and other one cool trick technicalities that either just don't exist or only exist in really specific circumstances that almost never happen. How software development works, especially game development. Why did they fix this minor bug before the major bug? They don't have their priorities straight. Because the small things get fixed first and then they move on. Why can't they just use a new engine? This engine sucks and is holding them back. Because using a new engine is years and years of learning and development. It's not something you just swap out like a car part. Religion. A lot of people treat faiths like Christianity as if you just need to read a few chapters and go to church now and then to understand. But Christianity has changed massively over its 2,000-year life, to say nothing of the thousands of years of Judaic history prior. So much of a faith is rooted in cultural contexts that folks just don't know about. In many ways modern, American followers are working without the full picture. Basic math and financial concepts. I can't tell you how many times I had to treat grown adults like a child that I'm helping with their homework. Explaining in the most simple terms possible that if you spend more money than what you have in your account, you owe the bank for the difference. The other day I was in a screaming match with someone because they didn't understand that I was giving them exactly what they asked for. A whole lot of religious stuff. I've talked to tons of people of many different religions who claim they understand the problem of suffering evil with no issues. Never mind that the greatest theologians in many different religions have struggled with this question for millennia. They claim to have a full understanding of it. I have no figured out yet if these people are arrogant or stupid or both. Energy. Many like to point the finger at and protest big oil, but don't consider their own growing consumption that's driving the supply increases. Imagine the outrage if homes weren't warm in the winter or a flick of a switch didn't turn the lights on. It's hard to protest the industry when all of us are using plastic and flying to vacations. How video games work. Even if you just spend like a day learning the basics of video game development, you'll see how laughably wrong most people are on social media, just making shit up and throwing out random buzzwords like memory and shader with clearly no understanding of how the development process goes or even what those words actually mean. The purpose of the Human Resources Department. Their purpose isn't to protect the employee. Their purpose is to protect the company from lawsuits. The many benefits that employees get from HR are incidental. If it's a choice between protecting the employee or protecting the company, HR protects the company every time. Jazz, 1,000 times jazz. Most people liking avant-garde stuff don't look into the crowd of a regular jazz club is enough. I feel like these people come in because it's a status thing, a sign of a high intellect to like jazz, even though they don't seem to listen, and this couldn't be further away from the truth. Vaccines. Had a conversation recently with a friend that as a 5-year-old child they decided to homeschool because they're anti-vax now. Her reasoning was the typical "we don't know what they put in those things and you'll be fine with herd immunity." I told her to get back to me when her kid gets polio. Cryptocurrency guy friends talk about it all the time. First time they explained it to me I didn't get it and also didn't find it interesting. so I made it seem like I understood it to cut the conversation short. Whenever anyone brings it up, I just nod along like I get it. But nope. LOL. How a mental illness they don't have actually impacts the daily life of someone who has it. Even the most common, depression and anxiety, are often misunderstood. For example, everyone can experience anxiety, it's only when it affects your well-being daily life it becomes a disorder. Planes should fly and not fall down. www should open and not time out. Economy should grow and not decline. Women should be safe. Men should be safe. Leaders should be honest, competent. Kids should be happy. Sun should be shining. I think I understand all. Finance, namely investments. People on Reddit seem to think stocks are an exclusive club only for the wealthy billionaires who somehow can set the stock price to whatever they want. People who think like that need to take Economics 101. Communism. I personally am not in favor of it, never will be, but I'm talking about people who scream communism at any political move they don't like. It tells me they don't understand it. They just learned it as a scary sounding word. The Bible. Every pastor in every town preaches their dogma and traditional heresy, none of which is scriptural. Yahweh Elohim, the only true God, is in control of all things in heaven and earth. Praise Yahweh for His mercy and His truths. Different opinions. Like all the time I say, I can see your points. I actually mean I can see you are too much of an idiot to waste my time explaining why you are wrong. And I never understand why they come up with such an idea. Someone says something you didn't really hear and you say what? They repeat and you say what? Again. They repeat it a third time and even though you still don't understand you disagree or say that's crazy, hoping that works. Meta in any video game, some view it as what everyone uses, others view it as what is overhyped is easy. Emote is what does. Food synergy with its kit abilities is a good main weapon and is good. Mobility might be wrong though. Liability insurance, which is my field. A lot of people think that insurance companies arbitrarily raise rates. There's a whole science behind the rates that are charged and a lot of it is tied to the economy. Finance. I used to lurk some of the finance related subs for the lulz, but the posts stopped being funny when I realized that the people posting weren't being ironic and they just didn't have a damn clue. Calories. No, you're not a combustion engine or any other closed system. No, you're not eating heat energy, neither do you burn calories. You don't burn anything. You eat mass nutrients molecules. Just about anything, but I think politics takes the cake. Most people, myself included, don't know jack shit about it. Doesn't stop them from yapping away like they're fucking geniuses. My job. I'm a producer at Netflix and let me tell you, mostly everyone just acknowledges my role and doesn't have a clue what I'm actually doing. I don't have the time either. How taxes work, specifically US progressive income tax brackets. No. A pay increase will never mean you make less money because you are now in a higher tax bracket. How government works, especially federal, like the process of enacting legislation, constitutional amendments, the powers of the three branches, etc. Also economics. Investing in real estate. Father is a real estate broker for 20 years and a futures investor for 16. I'm a realtor and futures investor as well for about 5 years now. The choices we make. Studies have shown a form of wave believed to be the formation of a choice traveling in our mind way before we're even aware we're making a choice. Economics. A lot of this is a result of news channels telling us that the stock market is somehow an indicator of a healthy or strong economy. It's not at all. Art. There are master degrees and even PhDs in art, but still, random people who didn't study it at all think they understand it enough to judge it somehow. Poverty and homelessness. If you've never lived it, you have no idea what it's like. No amount of words can explain to you how dehumanizing it can be. Speaking as a software engineer about other software engineers. 1. SQL and databases. 2. Character encoding. 3. Time zones and date-time conversion. The electric grid, how power is produced, and transported both from a technical but more so from a business model and stakeholder perspective. Great works of literature like War and Peace, Crime and Punishment, To Kill a Mockingbird, Pride and Prejudice, Infinite Jest, to name a few. How to communicate well. The physics of basic things. What does a computer do? Desktops, laptops. What is the cloud and what that means? A lot of people are saying politics. I think politics are pretty easy to understand. 1. Say what people want to hear. 2. 3. Profit. Wine. They swirl it, sniff it, play around with it in the mouth and then spew some BS about it. I drink it, lots of it, without the BS. Tax brackets. Your entire income isn't taxed at that amount. It's like filling buckets and each bucket is taxed at different amounts. Quantum mechanics. If you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand quantum mechanics. Richard P. Feynman. Influenza is a flu. Stomach bugs are not the flu. Stop saying you have the flu unless you have influenza. I could go on. US gas prices. Well, global gas prices. But in the US, we seem to believe the POTUS has a toggle. He just adjusts them with taxes, deductions, credits, tax brackets, returns, refunds, insurance premiums, deductibles, whether it's worth getting. If I've learned anything, there's a large shield of ignorance around my field, aviation, particularly air traffic control. Politics. It is very complicated, but people want to dumb it down to look at the gas prices, look at the national debt. Sex. You're a stud, bro? All the ladies just want a piece of that? Then, why are you here telling me about it? Oh wait, the word meta. Every TV show or movie gets called that now. And yeah, some of it is, but not every new media crumb is. History and World War II. Not every event in human history is analogous to World War II. Saddam wasn't Hitler. Putin isn't Hitler, etc. Insurance. I am in a business and get to hear some real nonsense. And that is from both clients and professionals. The internet networking. At a very high level, people understand what it is, but not how it works at lower levels. I feel like people wanna understand depression and bipolar disorder, but unless you have it, it's really hard to get it.